Okay, now step number one when we're going to use WeVideo is to sign up for a Clarkston WeVideo account, which is going to give you a lot of options that you can't have if you just do the free version. So you're going to start by just on a browser going to WeVideo.com. Once you're on this page, you're going to go right to where it says the Google button to sign up with. Once you do that, if you sign in with your Chrome device or your Clarkston School's Chromebook, once you sign in, all you have to do is find and click on your name. Once you click on the name for the first time, there's just a couple of quick questions you have to do. When you come in, the first one, you're going to click on education, and then you are a student. You can click continue. And then when you come in here, you can click any that you really want to. But in our case, because we're mainly kind of focused on something very similar to podcasts, I just select podcasts and click on start creating. Then you're going to be directed into this page where this is where you're going to need help from your teacher. Because over on the left, you're going to see where it says the name of the student. You're going to see upgrade, apply code, and manage account. And you're going to go to the apply code option. And this is where you're going to be given a pretty long code from your teacher. Okay, once you are in, you're ready to start making your videos. And in fact, when we get to this screen, there's just a couple things I'm going to point out to you. If you look at the top, you're going to see dashboard, projects, media, and exports. Now, as you start creating your videos, those are going to actually fill up. But right now, if I clicked on the different ones, they're all empty. The dashboard actually gives you options once you start creating your videos of a place to start. But really, I'm just going to go straight to projects. I'm going to go to the second one. Because when you come in here, you can see where it says start creating. But after you do your first one, this start creating will disappear. So I like to come right down here with the circle with the plus on. So I'm going to hit create new project. Now you have to give it a title. So in this case, I'm going to just call it test because I'm going to show you how this works. You do not have to give it a description. That one's up to you. But then you've got these three options down below. And you just have to pick which one you want. Personal means you're going to create a project that only you will work on, only you are going to edit. Collaborative means you're actually going to create one project that multiple people can edit, not only all together, but also at the exact same time, which is really kind of nice. And then the last one is you're going to create actually one project that people will work on separately, even though you'll all have access to the same things that put that video together. So it's kind of like creating a shared project, but you all get to work on something different in that shared project. A little confusing, but we're mainly always going to use these two, and really most of the time you're always going to use personal. So I'm going to go ahead and click on personal, and I'm going to hit next. And then you're going to go ahead and create video. Now, once you go in, you're going to see this. Now, I'm going to give you one quick note for you. There's two ways to create videos. This down here in this area in the bottom is called timeline mode. What you're doing is literally using time and seeing how you're going to create your effects and your images and all that. You put them in time. But there is another one. If you go to this little kind of stacked hamburger here, and it's called storyboard mode, where it says switch to storyboard. This is kind of like a TV show where you have different scenes. You can also create videos this way. I'm only showing you this because sometimes some of you may accidentally get into this view, and it can create confusion because you can still make movies, but it's a lot harder. So I always like to say, if you do find yourself here, just realize you can go right up to the main menu, this hamburger, and go back to timeline mode. Same options, it really does the same thing, but it looks very different and it's easier to use. So in here, here's what you need to know. Down here are your options. You can see you have audio, you have video. Up here, you have kind of like a menu. So you have what we call stock media. So what this actually does is you got this big screen over here, which is going to preview just about everything before you put it in there. Believe it or not, you can use any of these clips. It shows you kind of what it is. Up in the corner, it shows you how long it is. These are actually video. So if I click on it, I can actually see what it does. In these videos, you can actually take these videos and use them in your movies that you create. Now, I am going to tell you that you want to become more familiar with things before you start getting into this stock media. But it is there. It is something that's available for you. The second thing I'm going to point out is right next to it. It's called My Media. Now, what My Media is as you start going, as you find pictures and videos and audio and things like that, it's going to put that in here. And just because you save it once means you save it permanently. It will always be there waiting for you. This next option we're going to take a look at a little later. It's called text. This allows us to put words in our videos. Now, these are pre-created words and actually animations. If you click on them, it will show you what it looks like. And then we can change those so it doesn't just say share your message with everyone. We can change those words around. Then there is audio. Now, audio, you can see audio kind of has a very distinct look to it, and it also tells you how long that audio is. When we get a chance, I'll show you how you can put this audio in and make this create a little bit more creativity for your project. Then transitions and backgrounds I'm not going to get into today because those are when we kind of start taking another step forward in WeVideo. So do realize you can do those, but for this video, for our 7th grade project, I'm going to stay away from those for now. So the first thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to go back to My Media. And I want to show you how you can actually import a picture to help you in your project. So for example, if anybody's ever listened to a podcast or something like that, one of the things that podcasts do is they don't just play audio, they might have a picture of something. So we just had Martin Luther King Day, so I'm going to use that as my topic. And let's pretend, for example, I want to put a picture of Martin Luther King down here. Where you see video, and audio. Video, you can actually enter numerous videos, and the videos are anything that has an image. It can be a picture, it can be a video, and because you see video 1 and 2, that creates a little confusion sometimes with some of my students because they go, how come there's 2? Well, you want to actually think about these videos kind of like a sandwich. If you got your bread on the bottom of a sandwich and you take and put, let's say, some turkey on top of that bread, sometimes that turkey will cover up the entire bread. You still know the bread is there, but you can't see it. And that's kind of what this is. So the higher the video, so it's video 2, and you can even add a video 3 and a video 4, but the higher you go, the one on top is the one you're going to see. So that becomes important, and I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to focus on these 3 buttons right here. You can see import, you can see record, and you can see narrate. So in the case of import, what we do is we actually click on import, and then we come in here and I'm going to always click browse to select. What that's going to do is it's going to look in your computer for any pictures you've already found. Well, in this case, I've got a document called Durand, and then I've got 2 pictures of the Titanic. I don't have anything of Martin Luther King. So I can also go in my Google Drive because I'm signed in. I could do that, but I'm not signed in to my Google Drive right now. Or I should say I am signed in, but I don't have any pictures. So I want to go out and find a picture right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here. I'm going to open up a new tab, and I'm going to actually open up just a search page to look for Martin Luther King. So when I find what I'm looking for, in this case, when I'm just looking for pictures to help me out, if I go to Google, I just go to images, and it shows a whole bunch of pictures of Martin Luther King or things associated with Martin Luther King. In this case, if I just want to save a picture, this picture right here is a very famous one. I'm going to actually right click if I've got a mouse, or I'm going to 2-finger click on my mouse pad. I'm going to go to save image as. And in this case, what it's going to do is it's going to put it in your computer under My Files and Downloads. I like to put it there because then I know it's there. That means it's in your Chromebook. If you go log on to somebody else's Chromebook, you won't find it. If you want to put it at a place you can find it all the time, you're going to want to go to your Google Drive and save it there. The other thing I want to show you is when you are coming down to copy or paste a picture, or save a picture, you may want to change the name. So I might change it to Martin. But I want to point out the ending. So notice the name of this file is martin.jpeg. A JPEG, or a JPEG is called, is a picture file. There's a number of different ways to do a picture file. You need those last 3 or 4 letters. And I say that because I have had some students in the past, they go, okay, I'm going to get rid of all this, and I'm just going to call it Martin. And watch what happens. We hit save. And then if I were to go find that, watch what happens. I go to click download. See, it only has this little white box because the Chromebook does not know what that is. It just knows it's called Martin. It doesn't know what kind of file it is. Now watch what happens if I go back. I do the same picture. I hit save image as. And I'm going to call it Martin Luther just so it tells the difference. But I'm going to leave that .jpeg. I'm going to hit save. And then watch what happens when I come back here again and go to downloads. Now you can see there's my picture right there, because these last four letters are telling the computer what it actually is. It's saying, hey, JPEG, oh, that's a picture. Okay. So now that I know I've got my picture saved, I'm going to go back to WeVideo, and I'm going to go to import. I'm going to click browse to select. And again, I like to put mine in my downloads, and then I usually delete my downloads after a little while. So you don't want to just leave your downloads full, but I'm going to pick on my picture, and then notice it puts it right in my media. So now I finally have something in my media. So you can do pictures, you can do videos, you can do all kinds of things. But then when you have what you're looking for, you're going to actually take that picture, grab a hold of it. When you click on it, you'll see the preview work. I'm just going to pull it down into where it says video. And notice how I got the green box around it? That means it will actually work there. Notice when I let go, it turns into an orange box. So I can actually edit that. I can put some effects in it. I can get rid of it by hitting the trash can. Or notice what happens to my pointer. When I put it on the very edge line, it turns into some arrows. What if I was doing a podcast and I was going to be talking for a couple of minutes and I just want the picture of Martin Luther King to be on there the whole time? If I click on it when I've got those arrows, I can actually make this last as long as I want. Now, if you want to preview it while you're working on it, that's really easy. You can actually use the space bar on your Chromebook, or you can use this little triangle right here. And when you click on it, you're going to see what actually happens. Now, right now, it's kind of boring because all it is showing my picture of Martin Luther King. But it's a start. Watch what happens if I go to the very end. It's playing, it's playing, it's playing. No more picture. My video stops. And since I don't have anything else, the computer thinks my video is over. Now, I want to show you what happens when you've got two pictures in there. I'm going to go in. I'm going to quickly select another picture. I'm just going to use one of the ones from the Titanic. Now, let's say I've got my picture of the Titanic. I'm going to put that picture in video 2. Now, if you remember, whatever's on top is what we're going to see. Now, I just happen to have this picture. It's called a transparent picture. So all we can see when we click on it is the actual boat itself. So that's why you'll notice you can see Martin Luther King in the background, and then you can see the Titanic in the front. So what happens when we get to the end of the Titanic picture? All of a sudden, boom, the Titanic disappears because there's nothing up there anymore, and you just see the Martin Luther King picture. All right, now we're going to look real quickly at how you can narrate things. So you notice there is a third button for narrating. You're going to really like this for your project, because what we're going to do is when the time comes, we can actually click on this button and we can start talking, and it's going to create the audio for us. And it won't put it in audio 1 here. It's going to actually create a new one called voiceover. So what we would do is we'd come up and we'd click on narrate. It's always going to ask us if we can use our microphone. We can go ahead and click allow. And then when you're ready, you just click record. And this is where it's going to actually start recording my voice. It's going to record it for as long as I'm talking. This is why through your 7th grade teachers, you've been working on scripts. So you can actually read through your script. You can talk about different things. And then once you're done, you can go ahead and hit stop. You can listen to it to preview it. You can record it again if you want. But in my case, I'm going to hit save. Now, this is the only time it does get a little confusing for some of my students, because they will sit here going, hey, where's my audio? If you use the narrate function, it's going to automatically enter it and use it down here. So when the time comes, if you were to go ahead and hit the spacebar to preview it, it's going to start playing. It's going to show my picture of the Titanic on top with Martin Luther King behind it, and it's going to start playing my voice right over top of both of them. Now, the record button in the middle is going to do something very similar to narrate, but it works in a little bit of a different way. So I'm going to go ahead and click on record, and you'll notice you get 3 options. You can record a webcam, which will actually turn on the webcam on your computer and record you and your audio, so audio and your video. You can record your screen, which is kind of what I'm doing for you right now. All I'm doing is recording a screen as I work on it. And then the last one is you can actually record a screen and a webcam. So if you've ever seen those like video games on TV or on YouTube where a guy's playing a video game and in the bottom corner you see the guy playing the video game, that's kind of how that works. When you create these, no matter what, when you're all done, it'll put that media in a video format right in your My Media. So that's something where you'll look for that. The next thing I'm going to show you is putting text and words in your project. Now for this, I'm actually going to come down and I'm going to take out the Titanic. So watch what happens. When I click on it, you're going to notice I get some options here. And the best way to get rid of stuff is literally just to click on the little trash can. So when you do that, it gets rid of it. So then you're going to come up and you're going to click on text. And you'll get a lot of different options. And what you really need to decide is which one do you want to use. So just for now, I'm going to use this one in the bottom corner. And again, if you click on it, it will preview it in the screen over here. So for example, if I click on this, it's going to show me what it looks like. So I make a decision. I'm going to go ahead and use that. So I'm going to grab hold of it, just like I did before with the picture of Martin Luther King. And I'm going to pull it down and I'm going to put it in video too. Because remember, whatever you put on top is what you're going to see. But the good thing is the writing is going to pop in right over top of Martin Luther King's face. It's not going to cover everything. So if I preview, you notice it's going to record for as long as I'm talking. So we just heard a little bit of a combination of my voice on my previous narration, and you can also see the words as it moves. Now I'm going to take my voice out just so that doesn't happen again. So what we can do is we can make that pop in on our project. And right now it's only playing for about 5 seconds. See, I can see right there. But like we did with the picture, we're going to grab it and we're going to make it last a little bit longer. Okay. But then the other thing is, from the most part, we don't want it to say swipe up to join. We want it to say something about, Mrs. Phillips' class or Mrs. Pavlov's class or Mrs. Brown's class. So when you click on it and get the orange box, you can click on the pencil. And then notice how it says swipe up and join. Let's get rid of that. We can put Mrs. Phillips, Mrs. Brown, and you'll notice it changes right on your screen. You can change the size. You can change the font. I don't do that changing of the size, font, and even the color very often. I just kind of stick with what's already on there. And when you're done, you hit Save Changes. So when you do that, instead of having just something that says swipe up, it now says what you want it to say. And the last thing I'm going to show you today is audio. Now, I'm not going to turn on these audio because it will play and you guys probably won't be able to hear it. But if you click on them, you will be able to play them and you can hear what they sound like. And let's say you find one that you really like. Here's one little touch that I know Mrs. Phillips and Mrs. Pavlov and Mrs. Brown would think is a great way to improve your projects. So you actually find one that you like and you're going to drag it down. Make sure it's green before you let it go. And right now, the way it would work is because my voiceover, and I deleted my voiceover so I wouldn't hear it, but if I were to play it, with my voiceover, you'd hear me talking and you'd hear the music at the same time. But the number one problem there is a lot of people play the audio too loud so you can't hear the person talking. So we're actually going to turn the music down. So what we would do is come over here and right under audio, see this little blue line right here? This is a volume. So we can actually take this and we can make it about, say, 20% is about what you want to have. So that way, when you start to play it, it's going to play really soft right behind you as you talk. And that's a nice way to give your project some extra effects, something that will really make it stand out. When you're all done with your editing, you're ready to finish your video, which is actually going to be taking all your edits and creating one video with all those edits in it. So you're going to come right up to this blue finish button. Once you do that, you need to start by just making a simple title. Click on set, and that's going to take you into this screen here where you can actually change the title again. You can export your video as either a video or audio or just a picture. And then what I would do on the resolution is always click HD. There is differences between the two, but for now, HD is just the easiest. And then down here under destinations, you always want to make sure that the circle around the WeVideo symbol is on, but you can also put a circle around the Google one and tie it to your account. And once you do that, it's going to actually save it to your Google account too. And then the last thing you do, if you want, you can pick a thumbnail. What it is it picks different points throughout your video, and it will make that like your introductory scene. Once you're done, you can go ahead and hit export, and then it will actually create your video for you.